Hey there, Reapers. So, game changer here, mate. Let's have a little look and see what an enemy will see then. So, first observations, obviously great, looks good, looks strong. You've got some nice big heavy platform in there. You've obviously got a nice coverage with the Peacemaker, which is a fantastic turret to have. You've obviously got a couple of, well, at least one flak in there and one anti-air. But I would say your walls are quite big here. Now, the challenge I think here, mate, you've got everything in your wall, where I would say most of it's got to probably be outside your wall. So the reason for that, now, if I was using my attack format that I've got here, to be fair, this is my event format that I've been using. But basically, I would drop a couple of tanks within your Peacemaker area here. So I'd probably pop the tanks about there, and then over the top I would hit you with the M270s, and that's going to be War Factory gone. I can then probably come round and take out your Peacemaker and things along that sort of line. But basically, if I hit either of these two here, this side here is not really going to pick me up in any way, shape or form. You've got such a large base that basically what's happening, because you've kind of encompassed it with walls, that means the spawn zones. Look how close I can get to your base, mate. I'm gonna spawn right on you. So I could probably spawn about there and take that Peacemaker out in quite quick order, and then I could take out the Howitzer and War Factory. So if I started from there, I'm going to take this whole left hand side out, and bearing in mind M270s are going to completely outrange the heavy platform. So what I would be proposing that you look at, my friend, is have a think, what do you really need inside your walls? Well, I don't think you need the helicopters, because they fly up and over. You certainly need to protect your barracks, and you certainly need to protect your War Factory. But everything that's like oil storage, metal storage, by having it so close to your base, number one, I could take you out quickly because I'm not having to travel. You got to remember, on the map, if you can keep at least one base alive, one little building alive, one little oil storage alive, then they've lost, haven't they? Now, by putting this really close together, number one, that gives me a really good chance to mop up and take you out clearly. But also it gives me a great chance to launch an attack very, very close to your base. So what I would propose you do, bring these walls actually in and get all these non-essential buildings such as oil storage, the global ops, the thorium harvester, even the command center, and to some degree the power plant has no relevance where for it to be inside the walls. But if you space it all the way around these perimeters here, what that will do, it will push the enemy further out, so that they're spawning over right in the corners or right in the very sort of far ends of the map, and that means they've got to travel to your base. Meanwhile, that gives chance for your tanks to deploy, your barracks to deploy, and things along that sort of line. So it's very important, I think, that you have a little bit of a rethink about how your base is working. If you can do that, I think you're going to find your defense, tactics, your defense stats rather will pick up. So my advice: make the walls smaller, just encompass at least the War Factory and the barracks, something along that sort of line. Make the base small in a sense so that when I'm attacking this side knows about it. At the moment, if I attacked these two here and I took them out, I'm pretty much going to be completely out range of anything that's on this side. If you look at where the covering zone is, if I'm parked here, where the fox is, if you will, nothing on this side is going to pick us up. So I would have a bit of a rethink. I think your base is too big. You're trying to make these walls encompass a city, where really you should be just encompassing your main things that you want to defend, and spread the buildings around the outside. Now, the golden rule is, if you look there, you've got no gap between those two. The golden rule is that you can have 2.5 spaces gap if you look between your walls and that spawn zone, so you'll have 2.5 spaces gap, and then plant something. And then, so if I plant that where this little tree is, for example, then 2.5 spaces that way, and then another building, 2.5 spaces and another building, and so on and so forth. And you build a perimeter around your base, and you should find that'll push this green spawn zone a lot further out. Next thing I'd have a little look at, realistically, ask yourself the question, what are you going to get attacked by at this moment in time? As a level 47, can you imagine me coming in with troops? Probably not. I suspect that you're going to come in with vehicles. So maybe you're planning ahead for some of these new troops that are coming out, or have been out for a little while now. But let's be honest, you're probably going to get attacked by vehicles and the like. So your mines, for me, want to be reflecting that. I certainly don't have any anti-personnel mines. Maybe I'll change that in the future, but at this stage I don't. I'd be certainly getting maybe an extra peacemaker in there to increase your range as well. That would be excellent. But have a little bit of think about these mines. So you've got a mine here. Now you and I know that I'm going to hit you with an M270 or something similar to that sort of ilk. So I'm probably going to be here where this sort of patch of white grass is, if you will. I'm going to hit you over the top. So that mine there's not going to even touch us. That mine there's not going to touch us. Yes, okay, you may be defending people coming in, but chances are I would probably skirt around the outside, take everything out, and the mines wouldn't even give us any bother whatsoever. If I was coming from this side, I could rein in. I'm certainly not going to be affected by that mine in any way, shape or form. If I come from this side, there's not even a mine there to bother us. So maybe have a little think about how that could work. What I would probably suggest that you do is have a little look at everybody else that's in your team and see what defence stats they've got. There's a guy called Capcom in my team who has a particularly good defence stat. Have a little look at what people are doing differently. See if there's something that you can look at base-wise, and then have a little go from there. But personally, for me, the biggest thing I'm going to hit for first is going to be that war factory. So I would maybe try and get that in this sort of centre area here, away from the first attack, because I'd literally spawn here with tanks, I'd spawn here with the M270s. By then your peacemaker will locked onto my tank, so will your howitzer, and I'm just going to take the war factory out before anything gets deployed on it. If you could push me further out, or if you could drop me, if you're going to keep this format, if you could drop a mine about there and there, I'd have to think twice about that strategy, and maybe I'd go for someone else like your helicopter, which probably gives you then chance to get your war factory and your barracks up and running, and things obviously deployed. So this is your first video of 2. The second one's going to be based on what you've sent us screen wise. Okay, thanks bro.